We'll say good morning. This is Monday, the 11th of December, and it's about 1:30 a.m. I have to first of all apologize. I promised everyone a update this morning about the norther we're currently experiencing, and I failed to do that. Things got away from me, so it's now 1:30. I want to start off by thanking everyone for their thoughts and concerns that they've emailed me about the tragedy that occurred on the way from Guanaja to Roatan. Thank you, and keep your thoughts and prayers with the families that have suffered losses. Take this as a reminder too, that if you're on a boat, especially a boat that goes outside the reef, but any boat that you can and should ask for a life preserver, a life vest that you can wear the whole time, and a properly fitting one for the children in your group. You never know when something like a rogue wave or a squall that's unexpected could come up. We do our weather forecast. Sometimes we say isolated or scattered storms, and most of us won't get one. But when one happens, it can cause some waves that can cause problems. So always be careful. And we try to keep people as safe as we can on this website. So we will start with talking about what's going on right now with our norther. And this is our live view of West Bay Beach. If I can bring it back up. It quickly times out. And sometimes it wants to show me a commercial before it lets me see what's going on here. But we can see some waves crashing on the beach here in West Bay Beach. Quite unusual, because only when we have a norther is this protected beach even getting any waves at all. And so we will look at what's causing this. We see a front, and if we come to our current time here, our front is located about here. You can see the main part of it up here north of the Bahamas, but we are on the other side of this norther, so we're getting north winds right now, and some showers around, but mostly clouds, and there's a lot of cloudiness behind it, as we can see. Now let's take a look at our current radar and see where the rains are at 1:30 p.m. A lot of the heavier stuff is over to our west, even west of Utila, and we see these scattered showers behind it. These should get stronger and more numerous, especially as we go through the night into tomorrow morning. And so we want to be careful about that. We've had plenty of rain over the last month and a half, even though we've had a bit of a drier time the last 2 to 3 weeks. So we're going to reload our Wonder Map here so that we can see what rain that we've had today since midnight as of 1:30 p.m. And we're also going to look at the coast, Trujillo and Omoa near Puerto Cortez. And this is a classic setup for a norther, where the north winds are coming, hitting the mountains. The air rises, and rising air falls as rain. So we got about 2 inches Omoa near Puerto Cortez, about 3 inches near Trujillo. As we get down around San Pedro Sula, 1 inch to 2 inches. So in a classic norther, the further south you are, so Utila is further south than the other Bay Islands, so they will get more rain, around 1 inch in Utila. West Bay, 207 inch. No rain for most of us this morning, though actually maybe this right around noontime. Camp Bay got 807 inch, and this is us here in Jonesville Point. 207 inch, enough to get the ground wet. For right now, ignore this 1.68. This is a new weather station, and we'd like to welcome those who are joining us here in Calabash Bight. That 1.68, I think, was testing to see if this works. So probably a trace of rain, if anything, in Calabash Bight. But as the day goes on, we should get more. So let's look at the forecast. You notice as the day goes on, our rainfall amounts get stronger. Here we have our north winds 10 to 15 for today. Tomorrow, probably a little stronger than they are today. So 3 to 5 feet, 4 to 6 feet tomorrow. We have seen some readings on the north west side, like over near Diamond Rock, Camp Bay, and towards Guanaja on the north side of 6-foot waves, or 5 to 6 foot waves. So be careful out there. And as we get into the day on Tuesday, so Monday night to Tuesday is our heaviest rainfall. As we get into Wednesday, things start getting a little less. But as you notice here, as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, we have a westerly flow. And I used to talk to a boat captain, and he always said a westerly wind is a storm wind. So even though we are not going to have as heavy rain towards the end of the week, we're going to have this westerly wind, which will bring us scattered showers between Wednesday and into Saturday. Into Sunday, we see a bit of a norther, and we're going to talk about this in one of our next maps, but that could bring us some cooler weather for next week. Let's go to our rain totals. And this is through midnight, Wednesday night, Thursday morning, to look at the rainfall totals. The red is 4 to 5 inches. That's the Euro and the GFS together. These are our two most commonly used forecast models. The GFS throughout this whole process has been giving us the least amount of rain. Here we see 3 to 4 inches forecast. That's a little higher than it has been in the past. The GFS has been creeping up in the amount of rainfall it's giving us. Here's the Canadian, and you can see a good 7 to 8 inches. The British, 8 to 9 inches. The German Icon, 8 to 9 inches. So on the low end, we're looking at a 4 to 5 inch rainfall total through Wednesday, with Tuesday, especially tonight and tomorrow morning, being the highest rain amounts. But most of the models are trying to give us pretty heavy rain and some pretty high rain totals. So be careful for localized flooding and potential problems that come with that, landslides and different things like that. We want everyone to be careful. And let's look at the overview, the model of what's happening above us. And so we see here in the next couple of days, when we see these yellows and reds, that's heavier rain. The GFS continues to have the heaviest rain to our west. So that would mean that Utila would have the heaviest rain from this event. And then as we go into Monday and Tuesday, I want to stop it here and go back. As we go into Saturday and Sunday, we have this westerly flow, we have scattered showers. As we get into Monday, we see a front passing through, that's this front right here. And then we see on the backside of it, something that very rarely happens in the Bay Islands, which is we have a cold front actually pass through, give us clearer weather, a little bit drier weather, and also fresher or cooler weather. That people always ask me, what's the temperature forecast? And I always tell them, if it's cloudy and windy, it's cool. If it's sunny and still, it's hot. And that's just the way it works around here. Almost never do we have a sunny sky and cool temperatures. But an exception might happen next week if this forecast holds up. You can see here on the forecast model, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we see the winds slowing down a little bit. Most of our clouds are low clouds, low chances of rain, but look at these temperatures, 75, 76, 77, even some 74s. Those are kind of unheard of numbers around here, that if this happens and it's not raining and it's not windy, people will have their hoodies on. So let's look forward to that. That's very possible some of the nicest weather we could find here on the island next week. Until then, we have to deal with the possibility of heavy rainfall and some heavier winds and seas, especially tomorrow morning. So be careful of that out on the seas. All right. So keep me informed as to what's going on in your neck of the woods, and we will keep in touch.